Welcome back to the Big Garage Build. So I'm not on site, I've popped down to see Elliot. Elliot Duff is a really good friend of mine and a fabulous joiner. He's going to help me, or I'm going to help him, make all of the garage doors. So let's go and have a little look at his workshop and talk about how we're going to do that. Elliot.
Hello.
How are you, mate?
Good, very good.
So you're going to help me do these doors?
I am.
Yeah.
This is the little man cave.
Yeah, this is nice, isn't it?
A workshop.
This is the first time I've actually come down to see it since you told me that you were going to invest in renting a workshop and setting it up. So first of all, what are you making here, mate?
So this is a bookcase for Rob and Mel in Marlow, very good clients of mine. And yeah, basically a cot beaded face frame bookcase. This is all going to have shelves. These are all going to be doors, TV
Nice.
there, going to have LED lights on it, cornice skirting, going to be painted a lovely dark red. For a lovely old Georgian house, so matching a lot of the details within the existing room.
Yeah, nice, aren't they? So it's a corner setup, is it?
Yeah, so that'll be bang in the corner, and then we've got a big chimney breast here that's got like loads of oak panelling, so this one is symmetrical to that one, which will go obviously here, but I've just done it there for now to
nice.
tie it in and keep the space small. So I've just got to tidy up a few bits around the top, obviously cut those short, run cornice round. But it's pretty much ready for fitting, and then the final tune-ups on site.
Do all this on your own in here?
I do at the minute, yes.
How do you stand it all up on your own? Is that difficult?
A lot of trolleys and bases. I have floating bases that I'll like build it on and then flip it upright. And then I use a mixture of lamello and domino fittings to kind of assist. But yeah, we get by. Dad comes in for the heavy reinforcements.
Yeah, well, we all need an extra pair of hands now then, don't we?
He's the man behind the scenes. But yeah, apart from that, at the minute, I just be clever about how I build them.
Yeah.
And design kind of to a solo fitting, and then I make it all myself and fit it pretty much by myself.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to look fantastic, all painted dark red or whatever you call it. So, so how are you getting on? You've drawn some rods out.
Yeah, so we've used a mix of, well, I've had my laptop out. This is pretty much what I use all the time. Just SketchUp.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
I wish I could do that, you know.
Every job, I don't think there's a job now where I don't use it, even for small stuff, just working out material quantities. It's amazing. And then, yeah, so we've got that, and then we've got a old school, well, no, not old school, kind of a proper rod.
Yeah.
Just to help visualise stuff and double check, because obviously seeing it in person is a bit better. And we've got some old section sizes from my previous kind of gates and doors.
Yeah.
Obviously in Sapele, but we'll be working in oak.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And from that, you were able to get a cutting list together.
Yeah, we will do, yeah.
And we'll get that off to Champions, and they can machine it all up for us in European oak, including the tongue groove boards, which would be nice. How many boards we need, do you know, across each door?
Seven per door, 14,
About seven,
and then 5, what's that, 34 boards, 35 boards?
Right, okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Probably terrible maths there.
Yeah. Well,
enough, a few.
Yeah.
A few is the answer. Trying to think where that thermo is. It's disappeared, the cladding.
So yeah, so that'll be brilliant. So show us some of your machines that you've got. I know that you've been buying new ones.
Well, we've got a big panel saw turning up tomorrow actually,
Nice.
so everything's a bit spread out. This is the latest thing that's just turned up. This is a big Sedgwick mortiser. Yeah, just a bit more industrial. I've got my smaller mortiser over there that got me by before I actually intended on getting a workshop, so that was just in the side shed at home.
Yeah.
But this is here to stay. I've then got a big up and over kind of planer thicknesser
That's
that I'm
nice.
going to fire up. Bought that second hand. Pretty much all my machines are second hand. I've managed to kind of restore and get going, and then I've got a little bandsaw tucked down there.
Lovely.
With a tensioner and then 2 extractors at the back. They're all
Nice,
in
mate.
a traditional green, but they'll be painted grey to match kind of the aesthetic, because I'm like that. Material racking, just a big lay-up bench for glues and setting up.
That's
and then
nice.
this is a spindle moulder with a power feed ready to go on it.
Is this the new power feed that you mentioned to me about a week ago?
Yeah, it's in the box tucked away, but it's ready to go on.
That's not the one?
No, that's the spindle
That's
moulder.
just the spindle.
But
Where's
then
the
you've
power?
got the power feed that goes on
Does
top.
it attach to that?
Yeah, so it bolts to it. I'll keep it running.
Oh, that's going to be amazing.
Box fresh. Oh, this is also, I'll be wearing this sometimes. This is a brilliant thing for the workshop.
What is it? Virtual reality?
Yeah. Fly fighter jets with it on. No, when I go to Mars. No, this is a power air-fed mask.
Brilliant.
So you wear the battery pack. So a lot of paint shops will have a cord going to a compressor, but I don't want to walk around with that.
No, of course.
So this is just battery powered by 3M.
Yeah.
You can change your filters to chemical or
Yeah.
fine. And when I'm using like the spindle moulder or the tensioner, even though I've got big extractors, you still get a bit of dust kick
You
up,
do, yeah.
especially, and any time I use MDF now, I just done this, and because it's airflow, it's so weird. It doesn't feel right to have your head that close. Obviously, I don't hold my head close to a cutter.
Yeah.
But when you're routing, to be that close and not have any goggles on, it feels weird because it's all in one. You haven't got your goggles then steaming up through your mask, and because it's air fed, it doesn't steam up.
Show us the visor then.
And then in the summer, I'll put it on. I'll show you before I fire it up.
Yeah, stick it on.
Ooh. So, and especially in the summer, it's lovely to have the cool
because there's nothing worse than when you've got a respirator on,
So
it affects your
horrible.
breathing, you're sweating in it.
So I did have this one. Just show this. Obviously, that's the best one you want to get. The JSP or whatever. I use that all the time normally.
Yeah.
But then you still got to don goggles as well. So that just, the pack goes on there. It's a pack, but it's light. And then this just goes on like.
Is that a hard hat as well? Is that like
you can get bump? So this is just a bump cap, but you can get the hard hat one. But obviously I'm in the workshop, so I don't. So then you just connect it at the back like that. When I'm not using it, I just take this off, but keep the belt on, and then flip it on. And then all you do, just turn it on at the back. People are going to love this, like I'm on Mars. Fire it up, pull it down, and then that's it. And then it does steam up if you really breathe into it, but you can go on a higher setting, and it clears straight away. So then you're this close to stuff, but you've got no interference. It's so nice not having to have to worry about your PPE. You just work.
Yeah. No, and I think if you're doing so much machining, I think that's worth the investment. And I'd imagine it's not cheap.
No, it's about all in. It's about £1,000.
Is it? Yeah.
But
when I used to price on your lungs.
When I used to use my router doing the door mouldings with MDF, because it's open, the spindle's better. You'd look up and honestly, I'd see all the MDF dust in the lights. And I think it was when I was at Festival, they were saying how long it takes, over hours, for the dust to finally settle. And they said you could machine it, come back in the next morning and still might have airborne dust. Whereas, once you finish machining, you want to get that mask off straight away. But then I might take it off and still have dust. Whereas because this is air fed, I'll just keep this on while I'm in here.
Yeah, you get used to it and it's not a hindrance.
I've worn it probably for a full day.
It's not too hot or anything?
But if I had to wear it for a full day in here, probably could. It's not end of the world. And then I just do that and then keep the belt on. If I quickly need to use it, I just
Well, the thing is, Elliot, I mean, you're in your early 20s, right? So when I was in my early 20s, we weren't focused on this as much as we should have been. And I'm sure it would have affected me long term.
Yeah.
So it's really important. And the message would be to anyone who's working with anything that generates dust, not just timber, is try to look after your lungs,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I know people go, oh, that's £1,000. But if someone told me that I, God forbid, had lung cancer or wanted a new set of lungs, you can't, even if it was £50,000, it's worth it. So yeah, that's great for here now. I wouldn't be without that.
Like it.
And then this bench was here when I came, so I've just kind of kept it. It's just got all stuff in. Yeah. And then just
it's not your quality. Look at the way those drawers are.
Yeah, look at that.
It's not Elliot Duff quality, that is it?
I need to adjust them. And then just your generic stuff, and then lots of scrap timber I need to work my way through. And
the clock's wrong.
The clock's run out. Time stopped.
Yeah, that's good. Means you'll get finished on time. No, it's great, mate. So what I'll do then is we will do some. I'll come down and help you.
Yeah.
We'll do some filming, making these lovely oak doors. It'll be fantastic, won't it? And Anyway, mate, I'll let you get on.
Sure.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon.